Investment into Africa is a huge topic at this year's FIIH. Tonielu Melu is an economist, banker and philanthropist and is the founder of the Tonielu Melu Foundation. He is passionate about empowering a new generation of African entrepreneurs.
I see opportunities, but at the same time I see challenges. And if we don't feed those challenges, the opportunities might not come to fruition.
How important is it to encourage young African entrepreneurs?
In Africa, we have a lot of young people. The population and its demographics, we have 60% of our people, 1.5 billion people, 60% are under the age of 30. And joblessness, in my viewpoint, is a betrayal of a generation, a betrayal of a continent. These young ones don't have enough jobs. And every day, every year, more people are coming to the job market. So my wife and I decided to set up the Tonielu Melu Foundation, endowed with $100 million, so that collectively we can create prosperity in Africa.
Why do you think you said they don't have jobs, which is obviously a big problem? Why do you think that is? What are the main reasons behind it?
No, first, they don't have jobs because the operating environment is not good, and we have massive infrastructure deficit in Africa, which is why this kind of forum, FII, is wonderful, because you have in attendance people who manage and control the private global capital. And what we need in Africa to create employment is to finance infrastructure development. Take, for instance, in Africa, over 50% of Africans don't have access to electricity. If you don't have access to electricity, you cannot industrialize Africa. If you don't industrialize Africa, you cannot create jobs. If you do not create jobs, you're going to have political instability. You're going to have intolerance. You're going to have young people who are going to be totally hopeless and become extremists. So that is why what FI is doing, creating a platform, bringing private global capital managers to the global south, and creating this kind of networking plan for all of us to meet, interact, talk of investment opportunities, bankable projects, and see how collectively we can create a more prosperous and safer world for everyone.
Do you feel they see the investment opportunities, particularly when it comes to infrastructure?
Yeah, I think that infrastructure is critical and they see the investment opportunity. However, in some of the countries in Africa, for instance, regulatory hurdles, regulatory bottlenecks and obstacles affect the investment capital coming into the continent. So when we meet like this, we try to explain to them about these opportunities and I say to people, the glass is half full. You can either see only challenges or you see opportunities. We do have challenges on the continent, but we have returns on investment there. And we also engage in governments and say to our government through advocacy and exposure that time has come for us to put our house in order, to be able to attract the much needed foreign investment. And that foreign investment goes to where it is welcomed. It cannot be welcomed if the operating environment is not good.
Out of the experience of some big foreign investments, such as China, did you see the big change happening? And then also, wouldn't you like the investment to happen also within Africa for the Africans to see the opportunities?
No, we want investment to happen within Africa, but the truth is, we don't have in Africa the huge capital that's required to finance investment in infrastructure. If we don't finance investment in infrastructure, we will not industrialize. So China, the Gulf, America, Europe, please come and help us finance infrastructure development on the continent. It's going to be in Africa. It's on the continent. But that financing and getting, for instance, transportation, mass transportation, access to electricity, those will benefit Africa in significant ways. We need it. And FI presents another opportunity for us to meet, share ideas, talk about possibilities, and work together to realize it.
Do you feel confident that there will be a positive impact after the Africa summit you had the other day at the FIIH?
I think so, because in that room, we had global private capital managers, people who make global decisions on where to invest. And they were in the room, they listened to the conversation. They are now understanding that Africa is a continent, that Africa is not one country, that Africa is 54 countries. And there might be challenges in 1 or 2, 3 countries, but that does not mean all of Africa is not good.
But there is a perception problem. When you think about it, everyone talks about here how the people, their population is young, that there is so much opportunities, dynamics. Do you find that people just do not see the same in Africa? And why is that so? Because it's also a young population.
It's not so because of stereotype,
Yes.
because of the wrong narrative and perception of the continent. Because if one country is bad, then they just say all of Africa is bad. No.
So what can be done to change that narrative?
One is what FI is doing, creating a platform like this. I came here and the chairman, co-chairman of the African Summit. And with due modesty, I have succeeded in doing business in Africa. Today, one of my businesses, United Bank for Africa, operates in 4 continents. Africa, the Gulf, Europe, and America is the only financial institution, bank registered, that operates in America, out of Africa. So the more you create platforms like this, the more the world sees that there are success stories out of Africa. That is what we need to begin to correct the perception.
A big topic in the world is migration. Do you think there is a sense that with a better economy across Africa, this would be pretty much solved?
You said it all. That is why we need to see a prosperous Africa. Young ones migrate out of Africa under very harsh and risky conditions because they believe that by crossing the Mediterranean, life is better on the other side. Let's create a conducive standard of living. Let's create a better environment for them. For us to do so, all of us must be on the table. African government, African private sector, and Friends of Africa. I think FI is trying by creating this kind of platform and creating a platform in particular under the FI for Africa, having the African Summit, putting world leaders in the room and having discussions about what can be done to develop Africa.
As a businessman, where do you feel the most excitement when you think about Africa and opportunities?
I think the population, the demographic is the biggest excitement. I see opportunities, but at the same time I see challenges. And if we don't face those challenges, the opportunities might not come to fruition.
Are you optimistic?
I'm very optimistic on Africa. And because I'm born and bred in Africa, I do my business in Africa. I do business across in 4 continents and nowhere else that I get the kind of returns on investment as I get in Africa.
And just to sum up, with your foundation, what is the impact you have been most proud of so far?
My wife and I created the Tonielu Melu Foundation, seeded $100 million. To date, we have supported over 20,000 young Africans, each of them with a non-refundable seed capital of $5,000. We train them, we expose them, we create networking facility, opportunity platform for them, and we are happy that we're creating future Tonielu Melus because one person alone cannot fix Africa. We need more Tonielu Melu to fix Africa, and I'm happy that some of them are succeeding already and want to do more. Again, it's another thing I tell global leaders, let's work together to prioritize young Africans, give them economic hope and opportunities. We have a tested model on the ground, what we do at Tonielu Melu Foundation. But I'm happy others are listening, UNDP, European Union, they are coming on board, and others, so that collectively we can scale the impact we're making in Africa.
Good luck and thank you very much.
Thank you.